America's Cup är en av världens mest prestigefyllda och anrika tävlingar alla kategorier. Där de bästa och mest meriterade seglarna ställs mot varandra i extrema flygande katamaraner som kommer upp i hastigheter på över 50 knop. Och nu gör Artemis Racing Sveriges största idrottssatsning någonsin med målet att lägga beslag på historiens äldsta idrottspokal, The Old Mug.
Chicago är USAs tredje största stad, men också en av de vackraste med sitt unika läge vid mäktiga Lake Michigan.
Well, we're here finally in the Windy City, and let's hope it lives up to its reputation. So far, so good. It looks stunning conditions. The race course is tight, but I think as long as we have wind and it's vaguely steady, we should have some good racing.
Chicago är det tredje stoppet av årets Louis Vuitton America's Cup World Series, och för första gången i tävlingens 165-åriga historia så avgörs en America's Cup-tävling på en sjö i sötvatten.
Yeah, there is a difference, I think, between the fresh water and the salt water. You know, the salt water often, is a bit more dense. It's a little bit more buoyant. The biggest thing we're probably looking for is what is the takeoff boat speed to get foiling. But I think it'll come down to just how well you start and how well you go around the race course at the end of the day. One of the big things we've been working on for the whole season so far is about how we make our decisions. Often we're trying to make decisions to beat other teams which have been failing us, and it's the balance between making decisions to make the gains or just staying with the fleet and grinding out a position here or there. And I think the most important thing is getting off the start line well, getting around Mark 1, and then life becomes quite easy after that.
Luke Parkinson var bara 5 år när han inledde sin seglingskarriär. Och 20 år senare så har han trots sin unga ålder en lång och imponerande meritlista. Och för nästan exakt 1 år sedan så blev australiensaren den yngste någonsin att vinna Volvo Ocean Race.
The Volvo Ocean Race is pretty special. It's something that I'd always wanted to do. And I love the challenge, and I love the long races, starting in one country, finishing in another, and just being part of a special team that everyone just becomes your mates and almost like your family because you spend so much time with them. So it takes a different sort of personality and a different character to keep going and to stand up and to keep providing for that long period of time.
Men trött på att segla efter 8 månader på världshaven var han knappast. Bara dagar efter målgången av Volvo Ocean Race i Göteborg så värvades han till Artemis Racing. Och omställningen från en världsomsegling i en enskrovsbåt till matchracing i flygande katamaraner är förstås enorm.
It's sort of like a rally car versus a Formula 1 car. They're both very good at what they do. And one is meant for a rough environment that you can really push it to its limit in its environment, and this one it's made for the track and for going really, really fast. So it is a different world in some ways, but it's similar in others. We, instead of pushing ourselves for 25 days or an overnight sort of thing, now we're pushing as hard as we can physically for 4 to 5 hours or a whole day on the water. So although we're not pushing for as long, we're getting to a higher intensity for a shorter period of time. So some of those skills learnt in the Volvo are very important because if you can keep the same mental mindset, you can push yourself to a different level. So the wing trimmer primarily controls the power on these boats, and they're flying the windward hull. And when the skipper is flying the leeward hull, it's the wing trimmer's job to keep a stable platform and to control how much power we have. If you have too much power, the boat will start to create a big heel angle, and the skipper will be quite limited in what they can do with the helm and the direction of the boat. So the more stable the platform can be from the wing trimmer, the more the helm has control of the boat and can really drive it hard.
Luke Parkinson är redo för nästa utmaning. Och om ett år så kan han också bli den yngsta någonsin att ha vunnit både Volvo Ocean Race och America's Cup.
Well, winning the Volvo was absolutely special, you know, like I wanted to do that race my whole life, and now to move on to the Cup and to have a really good go at that with this great team Artemis. So I guess, yeah, you can only work as hard as you can and sail as hard as you can, and at the end of the day, that is the goal. But we've set our sights high, and we're looking to win.
The Andrew Simpson Foundation was started a couple of years ago in memory of a great friend of ours, Andrew Simpson, and my Olympic partner. Since then, we've spent hundreds of thousands around the world in his name supporting young people, and one of those great projects is here in Chicago.
One of the programs that we work with right now primarily is after-school programming for at-risk youth throughout the city. One of the big issues that we have here in Chicago is that it's hard for kids to get around the city. So one of the things the grant will do is help us provide transportation.
I've been sailing for about 6 or 7 years now, and I started through the ASM program. And before I joined the ASM program, I had no experience in sailing. I was scared out of my mind, so it was all new to me. And now I'm an instructor, and I love it.
Our program is to help kids learn how to sail and then eventually become sailing instructors. Hopefully that they'll, get inspired by, what sailing offers. And a lot of these kids don't get out of their neighborhoods. This might be their first time actually seeing the lake, let alone actually getting on a boat. And one of the things I love about, sailing or boating is that literally it's going to change their perspective on both their lives and again on the city.
It's really special to see these young people get out on a boat for the first time, the sense of freedom and that joy of learning something new. And I just know the pleasure it would have given Andrew, a real family man, to see these kids just getting out and having fun.
Chicago må kallas för den vindiga staden, men på den första tävlingsdagen så var det i princip stiltje på Lake Michigan. Istället räknades fredagens reservrace in i regattan och då blåste det däremot rejält. Och i den starka vinden var Team Oracle USA ytterst nära att krascha rakt in i Artemis Racing.
We might have a capsize in the top. Going over. Oracle Team USA got themselves pinned. Are they going to go all the way?
Oracle had a capsize where they were about to jibe, and we were just to leeward of them, and thankfully they pulled up at the right moment because it was going to be a big head-on collision if they had have completed the jibes.
Trots incidenten så gör Artemis Racing ett riktigt bra race och är tvåa i mål bakom Softbank Team Japan. På söndagen, även kallad Super Sunday med dubbla poäng på spel i alla 3 racen, var förhållandena däremot perfekta. En konstant vind på runt 15 knop inbjöd till utmanande och rättvisa seglingar. Och Artemis Racing visade varför laget av många räknas som en av de främsta utmanarna till titelförsvarande Oracle Team USA. I det första racet för dagen hamnade laget efter i starten, men plockade placering för placering.
Artemis Racing has moved into second and Oracle Team USA sits in third.
Och var i mål 2:a efter Land Rover Bar. Race 2 var ren uppvisning av Artemis Racing. Skipper Nathan Outridge gjorde en perfekt start och svenskbåten var först vid varje rundningsmärke. Oracle Team USA jagade, men förgäves.
Way out in front, and it is Sweden dominant today. Artemis Racing at 18 knots as they make the turn at gate number 6. And now it's just be careful time. Bring this thing home, and it'll be 20 points on Super Sunday to the Swedes. The Swedes bring home the victory.
All clear.
Det avslutande racet som skulle avgöra totalsegern i regattan blev dramatiskt. Artemis Racing fick inte bli sämre än 4 för att säkra vinsten.
They're coming together. Artemis has to bear away from Emirates Team New Zealand.
Och laget blev just 4 efter en stenhård kamp med Land Rover Bar och Emirates Team Nya Zeeland.
Yeah, obviously very happy with the event here in Chicago. Incredibly proud of all the boys. They sailed really well throughout the race, and I think the main reason why we won this event was we sailed well in every race. No boat handling errors, no starting penalties, no penalties around the track, and pretty excited about the future now.
I nästa avsnitt av Artemis Racing Road to Bermuda så tittar vi närmare på hur de flygande katamaranernas vinge är konstruerad. Och så pratar vi OS med Nathan Outridge som i augusti åker till Rio tillsammans med Ian Jensen för att försvara sitt OS-guld i 49er.